What is good, YouTube, man? Today I'm back with you guys, with the nation, for another video for y'all, man. And today, this is simple, bro. I'm gonna just give y'all five safeties that I think we should try and answer the season with, man. Try and answer the 2021 season with, because to be honest, I know we got Carl Joseph back. I get it, return of the hitman, but bro, I don't want him to fully play deep high the whole year. I really don't want that. I mean, I get it. He has the potential to be good, but bro, good ain't cutting it, bro. Good is not going to get us into the playoffs, into the second round, the third round. Good is going to get us right in front of the wild card game and probably lose us in the wild card game. So I'm going to give y'all five guys that, one, I think is going to be that are better than Carl Joseph, and two, it's going to be two guys that we can get right now in free agency, or I'm going to give you guys three guys that we could target in the draft, man. Let's get into it. So, first of all, I got to give a shout out to Icy Nate. He is the creator of this today's thumbnail. You feel me? He's the creator of the thumbnail. But let's get into the video, man. So, the number one guy, or not the number one guy, but the first guy I'm going to talk about is Malik Hooker. Malik Hooker is 24 years old, very injury prone, but he's still on the market. And this guy, if he was on our roster right now, I would love it, because I feel like we wouldn't have no need to go out and get a safety, right? He's a true deep high safety. In the system that he played over in the Colts, he did play split safety. He wasn't like a cover two-ish kind of deal over there. But when he came out out of Ohio State. And Ohio State, all they run is cover three. And he came out into the NFL and still thrived in a cover two system. So if he goes back into a system that he was already used to, like he was in Ohio, where he was the deep high, he was that deep third safety at Ohio State, I think that he'll be able to cover this back end like no problem if he's just able to stay out on that field. You know, if he's able to stay out on that field, then we're set. But I mean, he's a free agent. You know, he had a visit with the Cowboys. They didn't sign him, so I don't know if I'm pretty sure he didn't fail a physical or anything like that. I think it was just one of those things that they just couldn't work a deal out, and they had already signed like two people that could play safety. So maybe he just didn't think it was a fit. But he's still out there on the market, man. And I honestly think that right now you could probably get him with close to a super incentive-based deal, like $3 million, maybe up to $5 million with incentives. I think you can get him on a deal like that, man. I really do. But Number two, he is the second and only last free agent that I think we should target at free safety, and that's Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas, for somehow, some way, I get it, he might be a locker room problem, a locker room cancer, all you want to talk about Earl Thomas, but let's not act like when he left the Baltimore Ravens, he still wasn't good. The year that he was there before he got released, he was good. And let's not act about his, like, bro, this man created a name for himself over there in Seattle. We can't just act like he's just trash now, bro. Like, Earl Thomas, I believe, is somebody we should target. He probably will only get the vet minimum wherever he goes, and the vet minimum is only $3 million. We can make $3 million out of cutting Jeff Heath, cutting Jalen Richard, or extending Derek Carr for a couple of years. We can make that money pretty easily. So I would love to target Earl Thomas. And, I mean, for only a $3 million deal, I think that you can get him. I really think that you can get an Earl Thomas, maybe even a Malik Hooker with an incentive-based contract. And those are two guys that I'm surprised are still out on the market. You know, I thought that Malik Hooker was going to get signed maybe first 1 or 2 weeks of free agency, man. I mean, for him to be out on the market and there's only about a week and a half before the draft is, one, kind of shocking, two, a little bit concerning, and three, I mean, it's good because he'll be on the cheap, you know? I mean, we'll be able to grab him for a pretty cheap contract, in my opinion. But enough with the free agents. Those were the two free agent signings that I think that we might still be in the run for. I mean, it's obvious. Earl Thomas played under Gus Bradley, was in the Legion of Boom, all that kind of stuff, would fit in the scheme. Malik Hooker played in a scheme like this in Ohio State when he was there. So, I mean, yeah, why not go after those guys? But let's get into the draftees, guys. Let's get the draft choices, right? We're only a week and a half out, a little bit less from the draft, so I think we gotta talk about it, right? So there's three guys on my radar right now, and I'm gonna straight up say that these three guys on the draft, one of them, his name isn't Richie Grant. I don't think that Richie Grant should be on our board, in my opinion. And keep in mind, guys, I'm only going to be talking about free safeties, not strong safeties. But Richie Grant, in my opinion, I don't want him to be a Raider because not because he's a bad player, but because he's simply not a scheme fit. And do I think that if he were to be drafted by the Raiders, he could become a scheme fit? Yes, I do, because honestly, he's a very talented guy. But they used him all over the place when he was in college. And honestly, that's hurting his draft stock because our team's going to be looking at him like, okay, are we going to play him here? Are we going to play him there? Where are we going to put him? Where is he going to fit the best? You know, and he isn't a deep high, or he's not just a scheme fit. He's not the guy schematically for us. So Richie Grant will not be on this list, but I'm going to give you guys 3 guys in the draft that I think we should talk, that I really think that we'll probably be targeting or are probably higher on our draft board. So, number 1, I'm gonna go from bottom to top. So the third guy, the one of the guys that I would not be mad at getting maybe in the mid rounds would be 5'8", 185-pounder, or Darius Washington out of TCU. You know, he isn't the biggest, but guess what? Carl Joseph isn't the biggest either. But our Darius Washington can arguably be, I mean, you can kind of argue that he played better alongside Trayvon Moore. And you can say that when they were sharing the deep fours, you can say that he might have played better than Trayvon Moore at times. So our Darius Washington is one of my best scheme fits for this team. He's only 21 years old. I would love for our Darius Washington pickup in the mid-third if he's there. I would love to get our Darius Washington in the third, maybe even fourth. He's a guy that when he was paired up with Trayvon Moore sharing the quarters, he was real good. He was really good. And honestly, I feel like he's not getting enough credit, and he deserves it. He really deserves it. He's a better scheme fit because although he played in the quarters, you know, cover 4, he also had some times where he's played deep high when they did go into a cover 3, and honestly, he was good. He doesn't have as great instincts as a guy like Morig and someone else that I'm going to talk about. You know, that's why I feel like he's a guy in the later rounds or the mid 3 or 4 rounds, you know, that you go out and target our Darius Washington. But I really like him. If you can develop him, who's to say that he can't be a Tyrann Mathieu, right? I mean, Tyrann Mathieu, about the same height, he's a little bit bulkier, but honestly, our Darius Washington is quicker, obviously younger, and I mean, who knows, right? Who knows? I would love for the Raiders to target our Darius Washington maybe in the 3rd or 4th round, but let's talk about another guy. Indiana State safety, Jamar Johnson. This guy, honestly, schematically, is the best fit for the Raiders this year. He is the best fit for the Raiders. He is a true deep high safety. Jamar Johnson, in my honest opinion, should be our number 1 target. I know Trayvon Morig is really good too. I love Trayvon Morig. If Trayvon Morig is there at 17, I would not be mad one bit if we took him. But right now we're going to talk about Jamar Johnson. He's 6'2", about 200 pounds. He's 198. And he's faster than Trayvon Morig. He doesn't have the, if Trayvon Morig had a 9 out of 10 on instincts and reactions, he's just one step behind. I'm going to only give him an 8 out of 10. Jamar Johnson is the best scheme fit for our scheme right now. And if we got Jamar Johnson in the 2nd round, in my opinion, that would be great. I would love for us to go tackle in the 1st and Jamar Johnson in the 2nd, or you go with Trayvon Morig in the 1st and a tackle in the 2nd. But Jamar Johnson, for us, he is the best scheme fit. He can hit. He can play the run. He's pretty decent, honestly, in man coverage. But the best ability with him is that he can really play that deep high. He is a ball hawk. I like Jamar Johnson probably the most out of all the safeties in this class, just behind one guy only, and that is TCU's safety, not our Darius Washington, but Trayvon Moehrig, man. Trayvon Moehrig at a TCU. He's my number 1 guy. He is my number 1 safety that the Raiders should target. Like our Darius Washington, he didn't play in a deep 3, like a cover 3 system. He played in a quarter system, a cover 4, and he has probably the best instincts in the class at that safety position. He's not the fastest, only ran a 4.5. Obviously, Jamar Johnson ran a quicker 40-yard than him, but Trayvon Moehrig at only 21 years old, who's to say that he isn't the Raiders safety for the future, man? To say that this isn't our guy for the next 5-7 years, man. I mean, this guy can play man. He could play zone like crazy. But my only worry about him is not that his instincts, not his football ability, not his tackling ability, but it's the scheme, right? It's the scheme. At the end of the day, you got players all the time that get drafted to a team just because of their talent, but can't really perform because the scheme isn't right. It's not what they're used to. And then they switch teams and go into a scheme fit and they flourish. Like Nelson Aguilar last year. Wasn't really a good scheme fit. They really only try to play him in the slot. Comes to the Raiders and gets $13 million. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the only thing that I have against our Darius Washington and Merrick is that they played in a quarters cover 4 system. But do I think that Trayvon Merrick could play deep high? 110%. With his instincts and his IQ of football, man, I think that you can get Trayvon Merrick in the first round, and he's your safety of the future, much like Jamar Johnson. I would love for us to get one of these 5 guys before the season starts. I mean, bro, we have to get one of these 5 guys. I mean, do you guys really want to roll into this next season? Probably this is our best chance at the playoffs in years with Carl Joseph as our free safety. I know that I don't want Carl Joseph to play full-time at free safety. But let me know what you guys think, man. Is Merrick still your guys' first number 1 free safety in the class? In my opinion, it goes Merrick, Jamar Johnson, and Merrick, Jamar Johnson, Richie Grant, and our Darius Washington. But Richie Grant, like I said, I wouldn't want him for the Raiders because he's just not the best scheme fit, you know. But Merrick and Jamar Johnson, those are my main 2 guys, man. Those are my main 2 guys in this draft. I would love to get one of them. Maybe even 2, right? But Jamar Johnson, like I said, he is the number 1 scheme fit for us. He slots right in with what Gus Bradley is trying to do. Merrick just is off the charts with how much IQ he has. And, you know, with one of these guys, man, it could change the game in that backfield. It really, really could. So let me know. Would y'all want an Earl Thomas, a Malik Hooker, or Darius Washington, Jamar Johnson, Trayvon Merrick? What would you guys want, man? Let me know in the comment section down below, Raider Nation. What would you guys want? But yeah, man, that'll be it for today's video. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'm out. Peace.